triumphant moment blossoming from a tragedy. That was the Blackstone Valley Co-op hockey team winning their state championship just weeks after a deadly rinkside shooting. The team wearing hearts on their jerseys with the initials of the victims and the player at the center of their success, senior Colin Dorgan. His mom, brother, and grandfather were all killed when the shooting erupted during a game last month. Two other people were hurt, and the shooter then took his own life. Blackstone Valley rallied around Colin. And in the weeks after the tragedy, Colin chose not to quit and continued to play with his teammates. Kennedy.
Hockey is having the most incredible moment, but this also shows that the heart, the mind, and the body can persevere. And sometimes, you receive, I think, through a divine force, this thing inside of you that you didn't know existed that completely focuses every aspect of you. And part of it is to help you with the overwhelming grief. But the other part is to show you what your potential really is. And, what an incredible thing for him to be able to train his mind and body and, continue skating forward when I'm sure any one of us in a lesser frame of mind would not have been able to continue with the team. And he did, and they won the state championship.
You know what amazes me too, Kevin, is just think about the impact that would have on all the other young people on the team. That entire environment, knowing that they were part of something that was so moving and so important. Yeah,
what I love about hockey is it requires individual performance and excellence, but you can't win without a team. And so it forces you to do all the things in life you have to do well. You have to work with other people. You can be a great star, but you can't do it by yourself. And I think that's what's wonderful here. And he used that as an emotional, I'm not going to say crutch, but a support to get through. What a horrific outcome how random that would be, how horrible that is. And yet he had focus to perform this well and win.
Yeah. Kayla?
Chokes me up. Yeah, just to remind people how horrible this tragedy was. Remember, it was the ex-husband who showed up, who killed the mother, killed the grandfather, killed the brother, and then he died of a self-inflicted gun wound. So this young man, all the levels of emotion that have to be going through your mind, grief for losing your family, the horrible actions of the ex-husband, so much going through this young man's mind. But he stepped up, his team stepped up. They put the initials of the lost family members on their jersey. And Colin Dorgan said, "I truly felt it in my heart and my soul that they are still with me. I love them so much and they are still here. And I know what an incredible young man to persevere through those layers of emotion he has to be undergoing."
Emily, you and I just looked at each other as Kevin was getting choked up. I mean, we all feel that.
Yeah, it's tough.
And in the wake of loss, to still feel your loved ones with you is a deep blessing, and it's a constant. And I assume that that's what he's feeling there. And it reminds me, first of all, this is incredible, and what a beautiful, beautiful gift for him to have and for that whole team to enjoy. And also, I think about how that happens a lot of times in sports. Remember, like Brett Favre's. It was against the Raiders, but in 2003, iconic. It was Monday Night Football. It was just before Christmas. His dad had died the day before, and he blew out 4 touchdowns in the first half, 400 yards. I mean, it was iconic. That the New Orleans Saints winning the Super Bowl after Hurricane Katrina.
Yes.
So many individual football players who have the greatest game of their lives, after they've had the loss of someone so close to them. And so I each time am deeply grateful for the blessing of the loved ones that surround that individual for the rest of their lives, and also after, when they'll rejoin them in heaven.
And the divine assignment of perseverance in that moment that has walked out for all of us to see and be inspired by, and a blessing to him. When you were talking about that team, it's team intelligence. A friend of mine wrote that book, John Levy. It's really that. It's knowing that I need to get back to what gave me all that support and help lift it up.
Yeah, I remember back in the 70s and 80s when hockey went international, there was a lot of national support for teams to go and beat the Swedes or the Russians. Remember all that? It's a hell of a game. It really has never reached its pinnacle yet stateside, but now it's starting.
I'm sure it did.
Yeah. It's starting now, because the original 6, remember, were Northeast teams. I used to work for those guys way back. Philadelphia, Toronto, Montreal, Boston, Detroit. And it started there, and then it kind of started to drift west.
And
Gretzky moved to
the mighty
LA.
Tampa Bay Lightning, don't forget.
Well, yeah, and of course, but those Today, the league is international. You've got Russians, you've got Swedes, you've got Canadians, you've got Americans, but there's still a national pride in winning.
Yeah, especially when you win the gold medal.
Yeah.
That is,
Totally.
that is
Talk about
something.
an international
It is.
presence. There we go. Well, God bless him. Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.